Welcome back, ladies and gents. My name is Joseph James. It's that time of day again. Welcome back to our live crude oil morning prep. We're going from the screen all the way to the trading floor this morning. My name is Joseph. I'm a trader at SchoolOfTrade.com. I run a live trade room every morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. Come out and see me Monday through Friday. Again, that is at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. We open up our live trade room. We call trades live in real time for crude oil, Russell, gold, and of course the euro. With me today, actually not with me today, my partner in crime, Marty Errico from Traders Audio. My better looking half is bronzing on the boardwalk this morning. He's got his day off today on vacation. We got to let him out of the exchange every once in a while. So Marty will be off the rest of the week this week. But normally Marty Errico from Traders Audio, my partner in crime here, will be with us today for providing our crude pit analysis. Him and his partner Jeffrey do a wonderful job every day at 8:50 a.m. Eastern Time with their live broadcast directly from the NYMEX exchange. So welcome aboard. First things first this morning, let's take a look at the layout for today. I'm a technical analyst, which means I'm looking at charts, right? I'm not much of a fundamentals guy. I believe in technicals. And we saw a really great proof of that on Wednesday. I'm not sure if you guys recall what happened yesterday morning, but yesterday morning the technicals told us to go short, whereas the fundamentals told us to go long. And as we all saw, what happened yesterday morning. I'm a very big believer the technicals lead the fundamentals. So I'll be a technical analyst for you guys this morning, a top-down approach. This means I'll be using a slower time frame first, then moving down to a faster time frame second. And specifically, I'm going to start with some charts loading up a slow time frame. I'm going to move all the way down to a fast time frame, which will show me what happened overnight and specifically what's coming out of London. I'm looking at the U.S. morning session, which means the previous session to that is the London session. Now, I know that if I use the top-down approach, looking at what happened over the past few weeks, the past few hours, and of course what happened overnight, I can usually do a pretty good job anticipating direction at the open. By anticipating direction at the open, using major support and resistance levels that we'll find and talk about in a moment, we can look for those high percentage trading opportunities. It's pretty simple, guys. Find the long-term trend and then look for entry patterns around major support and resistance to participate with that long-term trend. It's a relatively simple idea, right? And I'll be looking for trading opportunities starting at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. Now again, normally Monday through Friday, I've got my partner in crime, Marty Errico, with me here. He'll be on vacation until he'll be back with us on Monday next week. And so we won't be hearing directly from the trading floor this morning. I talked to Marty about this yesterday afternoon, and he explained to us that the rest of this week was expected to be very, very slow on the trading floor. In fact, his exact words were, he expected most people to be on vacation Thursday and Friday of this week. So I think he was seizing the day himself and took an opportunity to take his own vacation. So very, very good. But we will not be hearing from Marty here today. But normally, though, check back here Monday morning. We'll be getting live directly from the trading floor. Let's keep going. Now that we know the layout for today, now that we know it's going to be just some charts here with me this morning, let's jump right into it here. Now we'll begin here with our layout today. Let's go grab the layout here this morning. And we begin first by looking at this morning's news. First things first, what day of the week, what week of the month, what month of the year are we trading in right now, guys? What day of the week, what week of the month, what month of the year? Today is Thursday, the 4th week of the month. And of course, the month is August. What do we know about this information? Is this information giving us any clues this morning? Well, first of all, we know the month of August is notorious for being slower volume. The last few weeks of August are pretty much known as the trader's holiday. Many people in Europe, many people in the United States, many people pretty much anywhere above the equator, who is, of course, benefiting from the summertime weather right now, are probably going to be taking or thinking about taking a vacation this time of year. So we know the month of August is notorious for being lower volume. The 4th week of the month, not that big of a concern for the month of August. We actually have 5 Fridays in the month of August. And these 5 Fridays, of course, mean that this 4th week is only it's not the first week, it's not the last week of the month, and it's not the 3rd week of the month. We know the first and last weeks are always important, and we know the 3rd week, of course, that's when we have OPEX. That was last week. This month of August, we have 5 Fridays, so this 4th week of the month really isn't that important for us. So we're going to ignore that clue. And then, of course, we have Thursday, right? Thursday. What do we know about a Thursday? We know Thursdays are usually very good for us in our live trade room. We have major news at 8:30 every morning on Thursdays, right? We usually get somebody on Thursday mornings. Unless there's a holiday on Monday or Tuesday, usually Thursdays are jobless claims. And so we usually see some pretty good opportunities off of this Red Star News event, jobless claims on Thursdays. So here we are. It's a Thursday, one of the last weeks of August. It's not the end of August, so we're not there yet. But we know that we should expect some lower volume this morning. We should also expect to see I would expect to see some opportunities here early in the session. We know that many traders will be participating during Red Star News events. And this morning we have a Red Star News event at 8:30 a.m. See, these Red Star News events, such as the meeting minutes from yesterday and, of course, tomorrow's new home sales, all these Red Star News events mean that most of the people will be participating. Traders from all over the world, traders of all kinds of different interest levels and objectives and different instruments they're trading. We know that those Red Star News events are always great at getting people involved. Now, with that Red Star News at 8:30, we can be looking forward to some opportunities here bright and early this morning. So I'll be looking for trades after 8 a.m. this morning, but it looks like 8:30 will be when we get really the meat and potatoes, you should say, of the price action today. We then have news just before 9 o'clock. It's always interesting here, 8:58. Now, if you're wondering why that news number is a little bit of an oddball, I put a link on my blog last night about this. It's right on the homepage there of Sideways Markets. But if you look at this news event, the manufacturing index, it will tell you that it is released a few minutes prior to the actual news comes out. So what's going to happen is you're going to actually see the reaction to this around 57 minutes past, and then you'll see the complete news released, right, to the general public 8:58, 8:59, and 9 a.m. this morning. So kind of an oddball 8:58 a.m., but we can assume it will be right around that 9 a.m. opening bell, which of course is on crude oil futures. So the NYMEX exchange, the actual regular trading hours, the crude oil pit opens up at 9. So we've got the pit opening up at 9, and we also have the PMI manufacturing index. Now, manufacturing has a lot of importance for crude oil, so we'll be definitely looking for the manufacturing index number to come out this morning just before 9 o'clock. So here we are. We've got a couple big news events early in the session. I can see we have a couple different small events here. We got 9 o'clock, house price index, 10 o'clock, leading indicators. For all you nat gas traders out there, today's your day for inventories. And of course, you've got 11 o'clock, we've got the Kansas City Fed. So there's quite a bit of news on the calendar today, but I have a funny feeling, though, today and tomorrow will be very low volume because of this being the end of the 4th week of the month. So we'll be looking for price action to be decent here early in the session. We'll be looking for clues in price action, 8:30. I would say up until 10 o'clock, 10:30 this morning, we should be seeing some pretty good price action. But we'll have to wait and see exactly what the market gives us today. Unfortunately, we can't make the market trade, so we have to make sure we're aware of that, being disciplined and patient. Now, when I first opened up this chart this morning, here's a 30-minute chart of crude oil futures. We call this our VIP chart because, as you can see, it's a very different looking chart, and it's really just designed to show us the very important price levels, such as range highs, range lows, previous highs, previous lows, right, previous week's highs and lows, etc. So looking at this chart, the first thing I thought this morning was, well, this is a really easy game plan. We had price bounce off the previous low of day, 103.50, right? Had this big down day yesterday morning, which, by the way, we predicted well ahead of time. And then now we've begun to move higher. Well, we have a relatively wide trading range. Look at the range coming in overnight. The range overnight is relatively wide, right, considering what we've seen in the recent past. So obviously, excluding any overnight news, which we're not going to worry too much about because we'll focus on the U.S. Session news this morning. But we see this relatively large range overnight. And so the first glance at this, I thought, well, we should be very easily bullish up to the previous week low and the previous high of day at 105.14. Because after all, this is one of my favorite setups, is coming off the previous low of day and holding that position all the way to the previous high of day. We call that the inside out setup. Well, the reality is we quickly go in and we find this trend line drawn here. And the trend line lines up perfectly with the swing high from overnight. And that's when we heard the air come right out of my balloon this morning, and right, the record stops, and we see, oh, nope, we have a price wedge. So a little bit different scenario than I thought we were going to see immediately this morning, right? I was initially typing up on our prep this morning that we should probably expect price just to go easily up to that previous high of day. But I think in all reality, what's actually happened here is we have gravitated towards that trend line, and based on the candlesticks I've seen in the recent last few minutes here, it does not look like we have that trend that we initially thought we might see this morning. So don't be deceived by that little jump in price action overnight. It does appear here we are trading sideways. Now, my strategy for this type of range is really simple. I'm going to buy the lows and I'm going to sell the highs. Now, my members out there, I would encourage you guys to use the trigger zone number 2, right? So use the trigger zone number 2, okay, which we all know. Trending patterns will use the trigger zone number 1. The range-bound patterns, wedges, channels, stuff like that, that will be best using the trigger zone number 2. So for all my students out there, you guys should know exactly what I'm talking about. If not, come join me today in the trade room, and we'll show you how it's done. So now we know the range-bound trading. Now we know this price wedge is a little bit concerning here, a little bit concerning. Let's keep moving. I've got some more clues here to talk about today. So we know that the price wedge tells us the biggest clue so far on that 30-minute chart. Here's a very, very slow time frame, and this gives us the lay of the land. Okay, imagine now we've got into a helicopter. All right, and the helicopter is going to take me. It's going to take me up a few thousand feet, right? So here I am in the helicopter. I'm overlooking the entire city. I can see all the different boroughs. I can see all the different city blocks. I can see all the different, right, sections of the city. Okay, this is the bird's eye view of what's happening in the long term. You can see we have this overall bear channel. And even in the short term, another bear channel. So while I look at that 30-minute chart and I say, well, it looks like we're trading a little bit sideways here at this time, we use this longer-term chart time frame to show us we know exactly what the trend direction is going to be, and therefore we will expect to be trading short this morning for the highest percentage trades. My plan today is quite simple. Find the trend and trade with the trend. We will get easier trades, more profitable trades when we trade with the trend. So do we not do any counter trend trades? No, we certainly do. But we know that the best opportunities will come when trading with the trend. All right? We'll go into a lot more advanced stuff in our live trade room for counter trend trades. But we know right now that the first anchor chart shows us we are moving lower. And therefore we can assume that the higher percentage trades this morning following the trend, right, will be to the downside as well. Now, when we look at this chart, though, we move a little bit closer here in time frame. Now that helicopter took us from a couple thousand feet down to a few hundred feet, right? Now I'm standing on the Empire State Building on the lookout, right? Now I'm just above the city lines. Okay, I'm not up in that helicopter anymore. Now I'm maybe I'm looking out through the spyglass there on the top of the Empire State Building. And so now I can see the block that I'm on. Now I can see a few miles around me, right? Now I can see other milestones, other buildings, right? Other skyscrapers. More importantly, I can see here that I've got major resistance overhead at 105.24. I'll tell you right now, guys, if we can get up to that 105.24 or 105.64, that's going to be a dream come true selling opportunity. Notice the bearish channel. Again, now that we know more about what we're seeing here in the short term and in the long term, again, the long-term trend is down. Short-term trend is down. right? In the micro term, right? In the short term, in the last few minutes, it may be trading sideways. But we know that if we stay patient today, the best trades will occur selling at resistance levels overhead. And specifically, we may indeed see those buyers push this price higher this morning. And it may be challenging in the short term, right, to, well, like a salmon swimming against the current, it may be difficult to get buying opportunities as it goes higher. But one of the things I'll be telling all of our students today is that if we start to go higher, be patient. Be patient. Let them push that higher. And then we will be waiting patiently at that 105.24, right, to sell it all the way down. So look for that 105.24 to 105.64. Don't try to predict. You'll have plenty of opportunity once it starts to collapse to get into that short, right, because you're coming all the way back down to 103.50. So don't even worry about missing that trade. Don't try to get in too early. Wait for it to collapse at 105.24 and they'll be just fine. If we happen to roll over right now, well, we're already going with that short-term trend. So again, as soon as we start seeing lower lows, we will continue to look for selling opportunities. 103.30 is major support below me, so look for 103.30 to be an easy target for us on the way down. And I got 102.70 and then 102.03. Those will be additional profit targets for us on the shorts if we do not retrace here first. So scenario one is that we trade sideways. If we trade sideways, we sit on hands and we wait. Scenario two is that price trades higher. If it trades higher, we actually have two chances here. We can buy on the way up, right? Wave pattern long up to 105.24. And then, of course, wait for the collapse, wave pattern short all the way down to 103.50, right? So that's scenario two. Scenario three would be price just rolls right over here, right? Goes back to its long-term trend. We see it happening with lower lows. We will be taking the wave patterns short down to 103.50, down to 103.30, 102.70, and 102.03. All righty? Now that you know here, now that you know the plan, we know the long-term trend is down. We know that in the short term, we may indeed see some opportunities to be a buyer here this morning. As we go into a little bit faster time frame, since I have time with you guys this morning, we can see in the short term, we have indeed begun to see higher highs. Haven't seen higher lows yet, but we definitely can see here a higher high. The lows here, though, you can see have still remained the same. So we do see the change in the trend from bearish with the red cloud to bullish to the green cloud. So now we will be looking at high percentage buying opportunities as long as we can get, in my opinion, if we can get that market personality to keep moving higher. It's going to be a challenge, guys. It's going to be low volume today. It's most likely going to be range bound until we get that 8:30 news. Be on the lookout for 8:30 a.m. this morning. We got jobless claims news, and that jobless claims news is followed by 9 o'clock PMI manufacturing. So again, be on the lookout here, guys. Long-term selling opportunities, very short-term buying opportunities right now. And again, I really can't overemphasize the urgency to be very careful today and tomorrow. This time of year, we've got to remember the smart money. They're on their mega yachts right now, right? They're flying around the world. They're vacationing in wine country, right? They're going to the lake. The smart money is not at their desks right now. I know, right? How does that make me feel right now? Well, for the rest of us who have to work like dogs all summer, right, we're here and we have to make the best of this price action. And what that means is that when we see the volume is very, very slow and sloppy, we have to sit on our hands. We have to be patient. There will be times when we see some awesome opportunities. Look at yesterday. Yesterday morning, Wednesday morning, we had quite a few hours there where it was very slow. But then sure enough, patience rewarded all of us that were patient yesterday, right? Our patience was rewarded when we saw that big sell-off at the end of the morning and into the afternoon yesterday afternoon. So we were rewarded handsomely by crude oil yesterday afternoon. We had to wait for it, though. This morning, same thing. Be patient out there. Be very careful with your trade opportunities this morning. If you're cautious and you stay patient, you'll be just fine. Now, would you like an invitation to tomorrow's prep? Do you have any feedback for me? I'd love to hear your feedback, guys. I always appreciate the feedback. I'm getting such great ideas and great feedback every single day right now from you guys. shoot me an email. I'm JJ at School of Trade. I'd love to hear what you guys like, what you dislike, what you'd like to see more of or less of, all right, in our broadcast every morning. And would you like to get an invitation to tomorrow's broadcast? We do the broadcast every morning, Monday through Friday at 7:30 a.m., and I'd like to have you guys with me every morning here, so shoot me an email. Let me know how I can help. Members, you guys have links for this, and of course, we send the link out each morning in our newsletter, so don't forget to join the newsletter on our Sideways Markets blog. From the entire team here in Los Angeles at School of Trade headquarters, we thank you guys for coming out and joining us today. To the entire team at Traders Audio, thank you guys for putting together such a great broadcast every morning directly from the NYMEX Exchange. My name is Joseph James. Marty Yerrico will be back with us on Monday morning. Hope he's having a great vacation there. Hope he's getting his tan on this time of year, and we'll see you guys back here tomorrow morning, 7:30 a.m. for a finally Friday edition of our Crude Oil Morning Prep. We're on a 23-hour and 30-minute break, guys and gals. Have a great day in the markets this morning. Don't forget to come out and see me in the live trade room today. Shoot me an email with any feedback, and we'll catch you guys here same time, same place on Friday morning. Have a great day, everybody. Adios, amigos. Bye-bye for now.